I'm alright, so I'm back yet again with some afterthoughts of the trailer. I think I could rant about how disappointing this entire, just like how badly SNK threw this year. Like, they threw this whole thing, like, oh my god. And I watch this, and like, I think about it in my head, and I'm trying to cope, but no, it just gets worse and worse. And here's the issue. There's a bunch of issues, for one. Let's go over my first issue. We'll go over the only good thing out of this as well. Alright, first issue. Right off the bat. Special DLC. This is the least special DLC I think I've seen on the planet. The only thing less special than this would have been Chang and Choi. At least for a pair. Hua and Raiden would have been better. And or at least more special, per se. But, you know, I like Vice and Mature. Don't get me wrong. I do like Vice and Mature. And I do like I like these characters, right? I like playing Mature a lot more than Vice. I like her slashing kind of fighting style with her like claws and like how she has like these light sort of. Like, I think her element is light, and I think Yamazaki's is dark or something else. Maybe it's Mature's is darkness. I'm not sure entirely on that, but you know, either way, if she's light and she's dark, it's a good dynamic of light and the light and the darkness, right? Kind of like how the rest of the Hakeshu represent an element in some way, except ice, which was probably Gaidel. Um, but again, these are like the least some of the least special characters you could have ended off the season with. If it was Ryu and Luke, I could see you saying special because they'd be crossover characters, but they didn't even do that, which is pathetic. It's utterly pathetic. Like, this is an actual joke from SNK. Like, I usually don't like to shit on SNK. I don't want to be like the new Chief Red Star, but like, this shit is just plain unacceptable. You're out here. You say special DLC character. You come here at Evo, and you say you hype us up thinking we're gonna see something, right? And I thought that this like fucking um I thought this I thought this like silhouette that they had put up was gonna be our little appetizer, a little appetizer to warm us up to the DLC, you know. But boy was I wrong. They chose Vice and Mature, which while very cool characters, and while I do like them, they're really lacking. But they weren't even. You know who's higher on that list from Power Geyser Bowl? Melee Jinju and Adelheid. You know who's more requested? Those two, I guess. I can't. I don't have the poll up right here, but Adelheid would have been a huge surprise. Melee would have been an even larger surprise since we don't have any stance characters in this game. Um, like I can't imagine it's all that difficult to reuse Rugal's fireball with Reppuken and his reflector and a little bit of like the genocide cutter move. I can't imagine it's that hard to reuse a a animation or two to throw in with this pair of characters. I can't imagine ending off a KOF season or a season of any fighting game characters with two characters who are just going to have like 90% of their moveset be the same from the last game, get probably one new move, new climax super, and, you know, call it a day after like reusing assets. This has got to be the most disappointing shit. How did KOF 14 have a more interesting ending to it than this? Like, oh my god. And it's not the fact that I was wrong about the predictions. It's the fact that there's such a lack of characters. And it being a characters that being two characters that are a pair makes it even more just makes it even worse because they might as well be one character at this point. Because if you have two characters that are a pair and you're going to end it off with something, they might as well be one character because one can't be there without the other. And that's why I think Vice by herself didn't really work as well in CVS2. But who am I to say? I guess SNK is going to be making these genius business decisions at this. How is it that Samurai Showdown had a better ending than this? You know what's crazy? Samurai Showdown still had like 4 characters at least come out between KOF 15 announcement and its release. Not even counting the Evo announcement, counting the one from the teaser, and how I think we even got some right up to release or after release with Biken. I don't even remember when Biken came out. I think the last character, it wasn't even Biken, it was um, Amasuka, the the guy with the crystal ball that I like playing. That guy. Yeah. He came out and that was the end of it. But it kept us coming back to both Samurai Showdown and also kept us busy in between this game's release and a little bit after to keep us playing a little bit. What the fuck is this? What is this? 2 characters. You know, the minimum should be 5 or 4. You know what? The minimum should be 4. It should be double this at least. You have no Adelheid, no Shen. This game has a total of, I think, 3 Tales of Ash Saga characters represented. I think there's 5. No, I think there's 6 or 7 Nest Saga's characters. Maybe 8 Nest Saga characters. And then the rest are like Orochi Saga characters. Or just characters that, were from the first KOF, including Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting characters. But like, this game just played it both way too safe with the roster and way too lame with the roster. Like, this game made no. It's like this game wants to forget the Tales of Ash Saga existed. Sometimes. Like, KOF 14 is the only game that, like, felt like it had one Tales of Ash Saga character in it. And he didn't even get an ending. No, he didn't get anything. And, well, yes, I have a bias because I like the Tales of Ash Saga. It's my favorite KOF saga. There is very little representation of it. There is no Adelheid, no Shen, no Xion, no anyone interesting. They could have replaced Choi in KOF 14 with Malin and replaced Chang with Raiden, and it would have made more sense. It could have been an anti-Fatal Fury team. And then have, like, I don't know, Xanadu still, or something, as, like, the rival to Kim, as, like, a new rival. That would have been more interesting. And this game is kind of following in 14's footsteps with weird roster decisions, but, like, even worse. This game's roster is worse than KOF 14 in a lot of ways. While, yes, there's more fan favorite, in quotes, characters, it's so dry. It's like they cut out the fat of the game, but now it's only muscle. There's nothing. There's no chew to the nice, like, steak or prime rib that KOF is. You look at a game like KOF 11, or KOF, like how KOF 2003 had a more interesting roster than this game. KOF 11 had a smaller roster than this game, I think, but had way more interesting characters. They had less to work with, but had way more interesting characters. I don't remember if I think KOF 11 had Mai in it. I think that, so it wouldn't have even, like, they managed, right? In this game, let's look at this game's roster real quick so I can continue my rant here of how much, like, I've been holding out hope. Oh, come on. You don't have a full roster? You know what? I think it should be on the website. We're going to go one by one here because how much just like on, okay. Shune and Meitenkun. Protagonist and Dugoragonist, I think. Or foil, I guess. Makes sense, has to be there. I like Meitenkun, cool character. I like Shune. They should really, in KOF 16, they should bring him back, but give him a new design to make the explanation that Isla made him change up his fit for the better. Benimaru has to be in there. Kyo has to be in there. Ash, Elizabeth, good decisions all around, but still being the only, I think, base roster Tales of Ash Saga character, bad choice. Kukuri, good choice. Shune's sort of weird rival. Team Sacred Treasures, fantastic choice. We need them. Team K-Dash, we could have dropped Maxima as much as I like Maxima, and replaced Maxima with another character like Foxy or someone more interesting. But, you know, or they could have replaced Whip. But Whip, honestly, has a better gimmick. And I think, well, Maxima's new design is good. I would say, if I had to rate them team-wise, I'd say about a 7 out of 10. Like, they're good, but they're not fantastic. I like this team. It's a little weird. I feel like K-Dash, what the team should have been for K-Dash, was Hyder and K-Dash Foxy, or Hyder and K-Dash Whip, or Hyder and K-Dash Adelheid, and been like a special forces team to combat this new threat. Isla, though, great character, best new Tales of Ash Saga character, along with Dolores. Probably the best, like, new age KOF character that's like a master character. Definitely better than Gong-il, as much as I like Gong-il, but still a better choice, by far. Team Fatal Fury, they could have cut the fat, put Rock on his team and Blue Mary. As much as I like Joe, both of these guys didn't make it into 14. Sorry, didn't make it into 11, and they could have skipped this game too. This team, good. I like it. I feel like this team makes sense and is perfect. And having King on a team with Rio and Robert is kind of progressing the relationship between Rio and King. This team, the Nostalgia team, perfectly fine, makes sense. This team, we could have... Actually, this team's the best example and the best way they could have trimmed the fat is we don't need the classic Team Women's team, but we still need Yuri and Mai and Athena. Perfect way to trim the fat. Should have done this with some more teams. Team Akari, I can't really say that they really missed the ball on this one. Classic team, but like still we could live without. I think Ralph and Clark were probably made better in this game. Team JAW, gonna be honest, They should have replaced Ramon with the Red Dragon. Another missed opportunity, but, you know, having a luchador is alright. Team Cronin. I like it. Unexpected. Having K49 back would make this team worth it within general. And then having Angel back is kind of that way to separate like the classic KOF people and the scrubs. Team Secret Agent, fine, I guess. I don't love it. I would have preferred, instead of, actually I guess all these characters are popular, so it's fine. But another asset reusing team. Team Garo, perfect. Team Southtown, pretty good. Team Awaken Orochi, worst, absolute worst choice on their part for TLC team. Like, holy crap. As much as I'd like Orochi Yashiro, and as fun as he is, waste, complete waste. Could have made them EX characters. Team Samurai Showdown is honestly a little too much, right? I think they could have done something better. As fun as Hamaru is, it is cool seeing Darlie Dagger make it in, a newer character. Just kind of shitty. Shingo, fine. We haven't seen him in a long time. We kind of need him back. We don't really have any joke characters apart from maybe Antonov or Joe. Kim, we needed him. Should have been base roster. Zoe Pala Pala, I like it, the idea. Keeping it like a character that was sort of controversial and polarizing, but doubling down. I like when companies will do that sometimes. Because while she was a little on the crazy side, she wasn't annoying. So she's dealable. You can deal with her, right? Gonitz. Great. Love it. I wasn't a fan at first, and then I played him, and I'm like, okay, he fits. Plus there was a boss challenge. Rugal, or Omega Rugal. Perfect. Again, another character I was a little on the fence about, but then I saw how he played, and considering how the story was going, it was fine. Najd, perfect. Dualon, should have been base roster. Hinako, one of my personal favorites, but they should not have ended off Season 2 with Hinako. They should have ended off Season 2, like, honestly, Najd or Dualon. But yeah, other issue, this roster, way too small for a KOF game, especially coming off of what happened with 14. You can't do it too big, but this roster is too basic, and it kind of balances it, but all the characters also just, there's just this weirdness about them, and they all feel kind of the same look-wise. White hair, white hair, white hair, white hair, white hair, kind of white hair. Silver hair, blonde 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 hair. Also, just, I don't know, there's a huge lack of variety in the game. Outfit-wise, a lot of outfits with a lot of, like, primarily white tones to them, or red tones. I don't know. I feel like this game, as much as I like it, as much as I like KOF 15, and as much as I enjoy the fact I enjoy the game, and I kind of owe it for it to even get me past 100 subscribers. So I do owe it that. But I think the game definitely dropped the ball in a lot of spots. And so did Street Fighter 6. We haven't seen much yet from it, but that's all another discussion, at least roster-wise. It's another gripe I have, but this is not the biggest gripe I have. We're going to go to a positive next, in my opinion. This is unlisted now. What? What's the difference between this one and the other one? Alright. As soon as I heard this music, I knew what it was. This trailer, pretty good. Now, I obviously have a bias. I like SVC Chaos. I'm one of the people that actually like it. I'm actually glad they brought it back. I'm thinking about buying it. It's $20, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. But I like this game. This game has a better roster than KOF 15. Sorry, not sorry. And in some ways has a more interesting roster than CVS 2, though way smaller, so CVS 2 still wins. Unfortunately, they wasted a slot right here. This character right here wasted a massive slot when they could have added literally any other character apart from Chang and Chin. Yeah. That's my only thought about that part. The bosses, weird picks, but I kind of like them. Especially the demon dude. Genjiro, fantastic choice. No Garo representation, which is kind of a weird choice. Terry gets Buster Wolf, but he's not in his Garo outfit. But, you know, in the gameplay is a little bit weird. Obviously, it's jank, but it's a fun jank, and I think that's what gives it charm. Is it's a fun jank, and just seeing the Capcom characters in the SNK style is so awesome, in my opinion. I love how Ryu and Ken and Nakuma look in this game. I feel like what they should do is make like an ultimate match version of this game where they fix the gameplay, and instead of it like being that weird like gain full all your meter, and then when you're at your all your meter you get this weird version of max mode, but not actually max. It's like a weird max mode. And then added maybe a character or two. But, you know, I was surprised that it said available now, honestly. I thought we were going to have to wait for this one for like another 2 months. Considering we have to wait for 2 KOF characters till actual winter. We're 2 seasons away. Or, sorry, there's a season in between this season of us having to wait for 2 characters that are literal asset flips from the last game. Let's talk about my next biggest problem. Probably the most biggest disappointment of this entire thing. Kevin Ryan. Kevin Ryan. By far, the worst inclusion, not to this game, but to EVO. Kevin Ryan is one of those characters you announce on like in the same way you announced Ramon, or like, no, yeah, the same way you announced Ramon for KOF 15, where you drop him randomly on a Wednesday, and you're like, oh cool, he's here. I wasn't expecting him to be back for this game, but you know what? I don't hate this character, and I think he's kind of neat. But, He's not the character you show at EVO. And also, the other thing SNK really dropped the ball on is the fact that they showed one character at EVO. What the fuck are you doing, SNK? How did the actual Summer Games Fest, the like jank version of E3, have a more hype announcement than the actual biggest fighting game tournament in probably human history? Not to mention where everyone's gathering, everyone has eyes on it, and where all like your biggest viewership is, apart from maybe SC or SWC. But no, you'd announce one character. You should have a minimum announced 3 characters here, and maximum 5, like you did at SCW or SWC. Sorry, SNK World Champion for World Championship for anyone who doesn't know. But no, you announce Kevin Ryan. I think the only 2 characters you could have announced that would have had a worse reaction would have been Hua Jai or Michael Max. And as you guys know, I'm a huge Hua Jai fan, but I know a lot of people don't like him and think he's boring. But this character is the Michael Max or Hua Jai of Garo. Which is saying not too much, because honestly, he's not even that bad of a character. But out of all the Garo characters you had access to, and with the decisions you made so far with this game, with instead of having Grant, you have Vox Reaper, who is Grant's student. Great decision. Having some of the Garo cast come back, great decision. Fantastic decision. Having just having like good characters come back that are both fan favorites and characters we haven't seen in a long time are typically good decisions. You know who would have been a wow? This is a big surprise character. Sokaku Moizuki. Frickin' I don't know. Hokutomaru. Kane even. Kane would make you say wow, because we haven't seen him in 3D yet. Alfred Airhawk would have been the character that actually made people say, oh wow, he's back? And then you would have announced 2 other characters to either soften the blow of people being outraged. But you know what? No, you went with the most mid character of all time. You went with a character that is so fresh and kind of already had his story resolved in the last game, who's related to another character. Honestly, Andy Bogard or Mai would have been better at this review. I'm surprised they didn't show off Mai. I don't even like Mai all that much. Mai is like a character I'm like not a big fan of. I hate fighting against Mai, and her design has always been kind of meh for me. I'm hoping she gets a new design. But, you know, SNK, you really dropped the ball here. You're just trying to like prove that you guys are making new animations for your characters or something? Because like, this is not the way to go about it. Like that first trailer with the 5 characters having Otaru, Tezok, and Terry and Rock, and the new character, Preacha. That would have been, you know, that makes sense. Here, you could have done a similar thing where you had Fatal Fury veterans and a new character, or like Fatal Fury veteran, one of the disciples of the Fatal Fury veteran, and some Garo characters. You know, in fact, if Kevin Ryan was in a mix of 5 characters, that's where it would have been perfect. But no, you people I feel like are gonna dislike this character at the beginning of the game because you guys dropped the ball so hard on this. Not to mention, they brought back, you know, a character that's top tier, who was already probably not particularly loved in Garo, just because of how overpowered he was. But, you know, the other thing is, no one thought this guy was coming back. And not for, like, the character's dead, or this reason or that reason, the character's too controversial. No. They didn't think he was coming back because they didn't think he was both interesting enough, and because his story was basically resolved when Freeman was kind of shot and maybe dead. Right? So, the only cool part about this is that maybe we're gonna get Freeman. Also, is this stage based off of like the San Diego Zoo? Because it looks a lot like it. Like, shockingly like it. I know SNK has done similar stuff, even though it's supposed to be, maybe there's a zoo in Florida that looks like this, I wouldn't know. But this looks a lot like the San Diego Zoo, with like the kind of the wooden beams up there, the big animal place where that's like the gift shop, and like bathrooms having like the little like wooden thing in front of them. I didn't realize this until after I looked at it, but I'm like, after looking at it, because this wouldn't be the first time they've tried to mix like sites from like California, New York, and Florida, or Miami, I should say, all together. Because Southtown Sound Beach alone has like Miami Beach stuff and like Venice Beach, and just Venice in general stuff going on, which makes, I mean, I guess so. In like San Francisco, so yeah. But yeah, is that a new move? Did you get an aerial move? Anyway, one of those characters, I think I've been bitching long enough about how much I disapprove this decision. Does this like also spawn out of nowhere? No, it's just in his hand already. I thought it like grew in his hand. You know who would have been more interesting? This guy's probably cousin, Blue Mary. Honestly, Hopwaja would have been a better reveal. At least for me. I would have been like jumping for joy. Probably not for everyone else though. That would be probably a terrible idea. The only thing slightly worse. What does the comments have to say? Nothing like a fun-filled family trip to the zoo, where you can see the monkeys and elephants and that guy getting the crap beat out of them and the penguins. That's fun. But, yeah. Massively disappointed by this guy. Especially for an Evo reveal. Oh my god. Alright. I've bitched long enough. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike if you really hate what I had to say. I'll see you all in the next one. This was a big disappointment. Hopefully Capcom has something better in store. The only non-disappointing thing was SVC Chaos, which is saying a lot. Bye-bye.